So folks, today we're actually going to be looking at the middle of our story. We talked about the beginning, where we set the stage, we introduced our setting and our characters. Now we're going to tackle the middle, which if it's a sandwich, it's like the meat of the sandwich, or the vegetables, the cheese, whatever goes inside. Maybe it's the peanut butter and jelly of the sandwich, all right? It's the good stuff, okay? So when we look at the middle, okay, when you think about the middle of a story, there's lots of things that happen in the middle of a story. One of the key things that happens in the middle of a story, okay, is a conflict or a problem. So as you are reading stories, or as you think about stories that you know, okay, and I'm going to put the middle of the story in bubbles, there are conflicts or there are problems that have come up, okay? So can anybody think of an example? Raise your hand if you can think of an example of either a story you were reading or maybe a story I've read aloud to you where there has been some sort of conflict or problem. And I am going to want to hear these, not while the live recording's going, but I am going to want to hear them. So if you don't have an idea, try to get one, and I'll give you an idea. So the Sophie stories that we've read. How many of you can think of some sort of conflict or problem that Sophie has faced in any of the Sophie stories? There we go. Now I'm seeing most of your hands up. Can you? Yeah, I figured. So everybody can really think of one, can't you? And most recently in the story that we're reading, okay, Sophie faced a very big conflict, right? She took a dare, and she ended up kind of going further than what she felt was okay, didn't she? She ended up doing, like, stealing, okay, and then lying about it. So that's really way beyond there. But that was Sophie's kind of personal conflict that happened in the story, okay? So the conflict is the problem. Now, the problem of a story should be interesting, okay, and it should make your reader want to know more about what's going to happen next, right, and wonder what's going to happen, right, what's going to happen. And as we talked about in the story with Sophie, there are lots of different possibilities that could happen. Right? We looked at a lot of different ways that Sophie could handle it. And today we're going to see what that looks like, or today or tomorrow. Okay, but we face a choice, okay? And so when there's a conflict or a problem, it usually means one of the characters in the story, or maybe more than one, have a choice, okay? And so you got to think about this in terms of your story. What is the conflict or the problem in the story? What's going to make your readers say, oh my gosh, I need to turn to the next page to see more, to see what happens next? And we're going to take a look at an example about that right after we finish this. And then there is one other piece that we're not going to talk about right this minute, but just so you know, the middle of our sandwich will be complete after we add that piece in, probably tomorrow. Okay, so let's see if you guys have any questions.